Hello and welcome to the Space Between Ideas. I'm Blaine Gates. Today I would like to give you a brief introduction into the course that I have created based on the work of Thomas Buchholz in his book, Great Crucial Insight. General theme of the course as a whole is think better, do better. The idea of thinking better goes back to using thinking tools. Think about the idea of a tool in general. Consider all of the different tools that you're using that's helping you in your life right now. Imagine me here, I'm making a video. I'm literally looking into my web camera right now, and my web camera is attached to the computer. I'm going to upload this video to CapCut. I'm going to edit it, and then I'm going to do all those other little things to have it show up here in your YouTube feed, whether you found it in social media or if you are seeing it here on YouTube. And in order for me to get, like right now, like I'm talking into the air and this time in this place right now, and get that message into your screen required a huge amount of tools and a huge amount of processes. The idea is that you're really only limited by the tools that you have access to. If you imagine that you'd like to dig a hole and one person has a shovel and another person has a backhoe, but one person happens to be smarter than the other, does it really matter who's smarter? What really matters is what size of hole you need and which tool is appropriate to solve that problem. Dr. Thomas Buchholz gave me some pointers at the beginning. In fact, I actually created a course back in 2016, I think. I was in Chestermere, Alberta, and this is about a year, maybe a little more than a year after I had met Dr. Thomas Buchholz. And for that whole time, I had been reading his book. I had been sending him emails and asking him questions. And I got to the point where I was going to some local meetups and I was giving presentations and giving public speeches. And people were saying, okay, there's some interesting ideas there, but who are you? Like, what makes you a business coach? Don't you have a law degree from a Chinese university and you lived in China for 10 years? Like, who are you? But I was like, I'm going to make a course. So I took everything that I had understood over the last year. I put it all into a video. I edited the video and I sent it to Tom. And basically, Tom replied, said he had a hard time getting through the first 60 seconds. And well, I don't remember anything after that. I think I fainted. It wasn't long after that I told Tom that I was planning on going to Moscow. I wanted to learn Russian, and also I wanted to get some practice in some environments that may be a little more friendly with business coaches, just because I was speaking English and just because I was coming from abroad. It kind of reminds me of the old Beatles story. You know, they say that the Beatles, they were in Germany for like 10 years and they were, they were very well welcomed into this environment because they were a Western band and they had 10 years to practice and they had 10 years of positive emotions and encouragement and support from a huge market, which didn't have a lot of competition. And so I've been traveling for the last 5 years. I've been to 16 countries. I was in Russia for 2 years, in Belarus for a year, in Saudi Arabia for a year, and a digital nomad for quite a while. I got through a lot of different countries, including 5 African countries. And this whole time I've been working with people online. After creating this course, I showed the course to Tom again. So this is like 7 years later. He didn't have a lot to say, but he thought that maybe I could add this little section at the very beginning of the course. And it starts out with this idea that if you think better, you can do better. The first point is that you can do better by thinking better. And thinking better means using thinking tools and techniques. Probably the easiest example to use is like a calendar, a to-do list. Any type of process for getting concepts onto a piece of paper and then putting some kind of relative order to it, or having some themes or some typical activities and grouping those themes and typical activities in a way that you can better understand them. That is the basis of a thinking tool. We've got lots of thinking tools. I think that the most common thinking tool that everyone knows is SWOT analysis. Why? Because, well, it helps you to take like a bird's eye view of the business very quickly. You can understand the strengths and the weaknesses, both inside the company and outside the company. And really, that's what business is about, understanding the environment, understanding what's going on inside, understanding what's the strengths and what are the weaknesses. And the direct outcomes checklists in Tom's book are just like that. Each chapter gives you an opportunity to think about some very specific ideas in business. The question is, what's the difference between a business coach and a business consultant? I think that a business consultant is the kind of person that you want to hire to solve a very specific problem, like a plumber. They come in, they know exactly what the issue is. These are common issues. They have common tools. The tools do a very specific job. They solve the problem and they leave. So you hire someone else to come in and fix a problem for you. While a coach, it's more like a person who gives you some different ideas. They say, all right, so if you're going to solve the problem with your plumbing, then these are the basic different types of ideas that you need to think about when you're solving plumbing problems. The thing is that sometimes the same concepts, they can be used to solve other problems. And soon you start to develop a framework of thinking that whenever you are faced with a problem, then you go through a variety of patterns in order to solve those problems. The next point he said was, you might already be using or considering different kinds of thinking tools and techniques. Every business, you have a whole bunch of different automation tools and different types of process-oriented tools, different types of communication tools. Can you add some new tools in order to help you as a manager and help your team? Maybe you're now thinking about some new tools. Well, guess what? Here is another tool, better, more useful for your specific situation. And finally, the course and Tom's book in general offers perspective regarding a variety of thinking tools and techniques that can help you do better when doing work. All right, you're doing work, you want to improve the way you're doing work, apply a tool. 2, selecting and getting more value from other tools. In fact, the thing is, as you saw in my last 2 videos, I was showing you how the direct outcomes checklist called state styles can be applied to this concept of like the 6 stages of fishing when it comes to the pattern for doing marketing and sales. You put those 2 ideas together and it really helps you understand how well you're creating processes in your marketing effort. 3, extending and integrating tools, all right, like transformers. These tools can help you even using the tools which you're already using. And 4, develop yourself and your staff so that you can capture opportunities. And that's what it's all about, that if you want to rely on luck, then maybe you will succeed. But if you use direct outcomes checklists, and if you use the concepts that Tom has built and developed, then the opportunity to augment luck is there. You'll capture more opportunity and you'll find more success. By thinking better, you can do better.